Gachagua is set to be tabled before the National Assembly. Now, Rigathi Gachagua is accused of several issues, but top among them is the issue of tribalism and corruption. Allegations that the Deputy President has refuted and says they do not hold any water. Now, like I said earlier on, it is very interesting because this is a motion that the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Moses Masika Wetangula, his deputy, Honorable Gladys Boss-Sholei, the majority leader, majority whip, have supported this particular motion. But Gachagua says, let them table the accusations. Let them present the evidence, because I am as white as snow. Now, this particular morning, we're here to separate wheat from chaff. And gentlemen, I just want to begin with Honorable Peter Orero, because he's sitting in the National Assembly. We'll be joined by Honorable Ditmas Baraza, because he's one of the guys who's really pushing for this particular impeachment motion, but briefly on the phone. Now, starting with you, because you sit in the National Assembly, where this motion will be tabled today. First of all, did you append your signature?
One, you know, I thought you brought us here to discuss not as an individual, but the interests of the country. I wish you'd run one of my clips here earlier on, maybe 6 months ago, when I talked about this thing of shares. When Gachagua started talking about shareholding, I was here and categorically said that when you are elected as the deputy president of this country, you must go out of the cocoon, embrace all the Kenyans, and show the way that really he is a national leader. I categorically said that when I was here. I also said that, like myself, I represent a cosmopolitan area, MP of Kibra, where you cannot go down and talk about one tribe or from one region. So we must, as a country, have leaders who embrace all the others in this country. And in the National Assembly, we have one individual interest, we have individual mind, then we also have party line. A matter of national importance like this one, when you find that over 240 legislators have signed, I would not be one of those who does not respond to the interests of the country as a person. So for it to come to the debate, the members of parliament must sign.
So you're saying you signed?
Yeah, I have signed. I have signed because I want to see the debate happen in the House. I want to see the charges. I have not seen the charges.
No, let me just interrupt you. Did you sign because you want to see the charges, or did you sign because you want the deputy president gone? Because you could as well have...
You know, first of all, let me tell you, I am a member of the ODM political party. This is not our party that I would say that I want the deputy president must go. But I want to see why he's being charged. But again, the deputy president represents everybody in this country. So if he has gone against the interests of Kenyans, and if it meets the threshold of the deputy president should leave, that is the threshold that the members of parliament today, if it will be brought, because I am not sure, I've seen the motions of today, I have it in my phone, but that motion has not been put. But sometimes within 1 hour or so, if we have an important motion, then it is always brought on the table. So as a member of parliament, you know, this is an intra-party matter. That is, the UDA want to sort themselves out. But we come in because we are members of the National Assembly, and we are members of one of the biggest political parties around, and the one which has existed the longest. We want to see this matter debated on the House. And if those charges will meet, you know, we have a precedence, I think early 90s, the 94 there, the former Vice President, Professor Karanja, was a deputy president, and because of charges that he was working against the interests of Kenyans, and one of the charges was that he was forcing the MPs to kneel down for him when the president was away. I think Kanyingi, I remember, I think the Limuru MP, yeah. Kanyingi, brought the matter in the House, and the vice president was impeached, and he was taken away. So this is a matter that has precedence. And when those charges will meet the threshold, and I've heard you mention the Speaker of the National Assembly, yes. I watched Sholei talk about it in her region and say that she's going to lead this matter in the House. And you know, she's the Deputy Speaker. Yesterday, I saw a letter written by one of the MPs in Nairobi to the Speaker himself, Honorable Mwago, to the Speaker, asking the Speaker to resign because he's taking sides, and this is a presidential system where that is elected by the members of the parliament and the majority. So I want to see this interesting debate today, and as a debater, I am going to be in the parliament to see what is going to take to debate on this matter. Okay.
Honorable Kogisho, from where you sit, the impeachment against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, the accusations that have been leveled against him up to now, as of now, because we are waiting for the official motion to be tabled. Do you think the MPs are justified in trying to impeach the deputy president?
Well, Ian, let me just add to what the member for Kibra has said. First of all, the Constitution of Kenya 2010 is a very progressive constitution, allows for the president, deputy president, governor to be impeached. It is something that we should never worry about or even get concerned about. The word impeachment should never scare anybody because it is provided for in the Constitution. And having been in the Senate myself, we have impeached governors successfully, some of them not very successfully. But the whole idea of impeachment is a moment of truth for the National Assembly. This is going to be a moment of truth for the National Assembly. And they have already begun, I think in my view, on the wrong footing in trying to impeach Gachagua. The wrong footing, in my view, is the Speaker should anticipate the bill or the motion to be brought to him. Not for the speakers to be excited about it to the extent of saying, hey, I'm going to be in charge of this thing. So can you imagine a quasi-judicial system where the judge already sitting there says, I have read the charges and you're already guilty. Before, or I'm excited that you're coming to my court because I'm now going to be in charge. No, you wait until it comes to you as a speaker. Be patient. And as I said on another forum, why would a speaker feel very powerful that he must tell the villagers that I'm going to be in charge of that thing and I'm going to get that guy impeached? Surely, I mean, that already is a mistrial in my view. And so, as you guys go, and I agree, you need to sign so that it comes to the House. I mean, it comes to the House. But whether those numbers are not necessarily the numbers that vote. The vote is a different thing. But preparing to allow it to come to the House, the numbers must be 117 members of Parliament. And now the votes will be different. And as you do that, you know that it's also going to another stage after the National Assembly has voted. It's still going to go to the Senate, which is another dynamic altogether. Okay. So this is not a process that we are for sure. We can't say for sure that he's going to be impeached. We can say the impeachment motion is going on board, and members of Parliament are going to debate the merits and demerits of it. It could be argued at that particular point that the charges are not cannot hold water, or it can be decided that they do. So this is something which is very democratic, and I hope that we don't necessarily feel bad that the motion is being brought to the House, because that's part of members of Parliament. The only problem, in my view, is when it is politicized to the extent that Speaker and his deputy begin to own the process, and run with it as though it is for them to decide. It's not the Speaker to decide. I think that may be the place where, and I heard, by the way, I heard yesterday a lawyer for, some of the lawyers for, I think for Gachagua, arguing that case yesterday in court, that the Speaker's already jumped the gun. and decided this guy is guilty even before the charges are there.
Now, before I engage Mr. Owidi, you've talked about the conduct of the Speaker and his deputy. Now, Starehe MP Amos Mwago has called for the resignation of Speaker Moses Wetangula, and he says the remarks by Wetangula on impeachment is playing partisan politics. Now, let me just ask you, can the Deputy President use the conduct of the Speaker and his deputy to counter this impeachment motion in its latter stages?
Definitely. The lawyers for the Deputy President will definitely harp on that. They've already started, as I said, because you can actually say, in most cases, if you're a judge, and you can basically be asked to recuse yourself from a case like that. But now in this case, both Speaker and the Deputy have gotten themselves engaged. So usually if the Speaker would recuse himself, the Deputy would take care of the situation. Okay. Now the Deputies also hopped onto it, jumped onto it.
But we have a panel of speakers.
Well, they don't handle this kind of thing. Yeah. Actually, this thing is going to be handled at the level of Speaker and the Deputy Speaker. The reason being that they have complete authority. The panel is basically a relief or temporary speakers, basically, well, that's what it is, when the Speaker and the Deputy are not sitting. Okay. For this kind of thing, it will be difficult for anybody who is not Speaker or Deputy Speaker. I have seen in the Senate sometimes that the panel can take charge. I've seen it, but that is only when the debate is going on. Okay. And you can, just like any other debate, But usually it's the Speaker must handle this kind of level, okay. and the Deputy. It's a very critical situation. So when you have a Speaker, and I do, with due respect, I mean, I don't understand how a Speaker would have done that, okay. Especially of the stature of Moses Wetangula.
Okay, fair enough. Honorable Mr. Owidi, now, the Deputy President yesterday, through his lawyers, tried to seek interim orders to stop the impeachment process, but the judges declined to give such orders. Are these the last kicks of a dying horse?
Exactly. You know, when you are drowning, you want to hold on to anything, including a leaf floating on water and such like things. We are yet to see more. We are going to see very many things. When we want to defend a position we like, we will bring anything and anyone into it. We will argue anyway, very logical arguments, but have no fact. First of all, it is going to be important that we make the people understand that signing by MPs for the matter to be brought to Parliament does not mean they will vote for it. They are signing so that the matter is before them. The Speaker, having said the matter will be brought for him, is just the right thing. When journalists finds you and ask you who is going to handle this matter, you tell them this matter will come before me. You are not telling them I will ensure that the guy is impeached.
But in fact, let me just correct, because Moses Wetangula said he supports, and this Deputy Speaker, Gladys Bostrele, in Uasin Gishu County, his backyard, said she will fully support that particular motion.
Let's be honest.
Actually,
when the Deputy Speaker is not on the chair, he is not a Speaker. He is a member of the Parliament. So if Wetangula will be on the chair, he will be the Speaker. And also he will not vote. Whether he supports that matter or not, the MPs will vote.
But how do you oversee a process that you already say you support?
The Speaker will be the Speaker. He will not vote. He will not be an MP at that point in time. So let us not bring in every angle to defend a position we like. The truth of the matter is DP Gachagua needs to be impeached. Mheshimiwa Orero has not reached the level of impeaching him. He is still at the level of waiting for him to listen to the accusations in Parliament. But where I am, DP Gachagua needs to be impeached for sanity to get back into that office, for dignity to return in that office. I remember I once sat in Siaya at a funeral. The DP came and paraded the Luos who are in government. The next day, he was in his native Mount Kenya, telling us that this government is a company where you must have shares to be in it. Let me tell you what has happened. That company in which he believed you must have shares to be in, he himself almost brought him down. It took us to inject new capital in it, and today we have shares in it. And that company is now stable. It is time he left that company to remain stable. Okay. Let's talk about the tribalism that the DP has propagated. Using a nice language like Mount Kenya to call your tribe when you don't want to call it by name, and then you tell the public that you are a very truthful man. The DP is not a truthful man. He's just a person who is capable of saying things that would ordinarily embarrass others to say. The things he say, myself, I would not say in public. So what we need to do as of now is take the matter to the National Assembly, listen to it, let the MPs vote. Trying to bring in the speaker is being partisan or not is neither here nor there. He will preside there, because we all know that the speaker was elected by the side of the government. So even if he said it or he didn't say it, we know probably where he stands. So the DP must go to parliament, the matter must go to parliament, and the DP must be accused. And if the MPs so see that he is actually guilty, they would impeach him.
Okay, fair enough. Honorable Rero, now, they say the impeachment motion is a 40-page motion. That was forwarded to the clerk's office yesterday afternoon, and they expect it to be tabled today. You said in the motion that you have, that particular motion is not there yet, but it's subject to change. Now, the grounds of impeachment include violation of the Constitution, disrespecting the president, going against government policy, leaking confidential cabinet information against the Official Secrets Act, abuse of office and gross misconduct, and the crimes under national law. Before you respond to that, I want to know, from where you sit as a legislator, sitting legislator, do you find the sentiments of the speaker to be right in regards to this particular motion?
Now, of course, he should not have commented on this matter, because he will be the sitting judge on that motion. But ordinarily, as I sit there, the speaker never influences our minds during voting. But the perception created out there that he has become partisan, which should not happen when you are a judge in such a status. And even the deputy speaker, they should have restrained themselves from commenting on this matter and leave it to the MPs to carry out their mandate as the elected leaders, so that they become good judges. And now, you know, outside there, like my friend Mwago is my friend, when he has written to the speaker that he needs to resign, it's because of the perception that has been created. Although I also listened to the speech of the speaker, but he never mentioned the name of the deputy president. But through inference, that if such motions would be brought, then he made references, but he never mentioned the name of the deputy speaker. But this goes a long way to influence the perception of the ordinary Kenyans. And already some people who support the deputy president have a notion, and they think that it is not going to be fair to them in parliament. But I can assure them that the speaker, like myself, he has never influenced my mind during voting. I vote according to what I feel and how I feel that my people I represent, because I will vote according to what the people I represent feel. So I think it was not good for the speaker to comment on this motion. But as those charges are brought, we will look at them critically, how he has violated the Constitution, how he has disrespected the president with the evidence. You know, they must have evidential background, which must be tabled within the parliament. So we look at each of those accusations on their own merit. Okay. And if they meet the threshold, who are we not to do it? But if they don't meet the threshold, then it will not succeed. Okay. So as members of parliament, we are going there with open mind to see the charges, look at those charges as they will be read, look at the evidence that has been adduced before the parliament, and see really do they meet the threshold or constitutional violation, and also disrespect to the head of state and maybe causing others. So I think when this matter comes to the parliament, it's going to be very volatile. It's going to be a very good occasion for the public to see how the debate is going to be carried out, maybe between today and Thursday. So be it when it comes to the table in the House.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. Honorable Pogisho, they say the more things change, the more they remain the same. Is President William Ruto facing his former self? Because during the tenure of former President Uhuru Kenyatta, there was, perceived differences between the president then and his deputy, that was President William Ruto. And in fact, some changes were made. His allies were dethroned from House positions, and in fact, you took over as the leader of majority in the Senate after Kipchumba Murkomen was ousted. Question is he facing his former self?
Yeah, right in the mirror. Yeah, the president actually is just basically looking at himself right now in the mirror. But he's not given the notes to his deputy on how to navigate a crisis like this. And I think one of the problems that we have today is started with actually with Uhuru and his deputy. When they first got elected, with all the new excitement and so on, they gave the impression that this is a co-presidency. And once you elevate your deputy to the level of thinking it's a co-presidency, that is where crises happen. And I think even under this one, the President Ruto and Rigiji, they began off as though it was a co-presidency. They wanted to work together. They wanted to address the media together. And so the increase in terms of importance.
Just say they were shareholders.
Yeah, I mean, but it was like they were equal shareholders, basically, in this thing. And to the extent, actually, that the deputy president is the one who was now distributing shares as it traveled all over. What happens in this particular position, and I don't know whether it's a jinx of this position or what, is that this position under the new constitution makes the deputy president only a heartbeat away from becoming the president of the country. So it is as close as that. So that it causes shivers to think that if anything happened, for example, and that's why all these accusations about participation in the Gen Z thing, funding it and so on, is because does this position increase with time, that the deputy president is now desiring to end up being the president of the country, which you can't stop anybody from being. So yeah, I think William Ruto is looking at himself in the mirror. It's the same thing that he went through, but he handled his differently. And as the deputy is saying today, can the president just give me my time? Let me finish my 5 years. No. You see, you're dealing with a person who has gone through this, who knows what it means. And his strategy is going to be different. He's not going to allow you to do your 5 years because he knows exactly how the increase in stature of a deputy president can be suspicious. It doesn't help. It doesn't help that the majority in the House actually support the president. It doesn't help that now you have almost overwhelming numbers in the House. So the defenders of the deputy president are a bit struggling, but the sympathies for the deputy president might also be increasing. So yeah, I mean, you can't, and you know the thing about it, Ian, is that the president has not mentioned anything about it. He's been so quiet, but you can tell the president is in this because of the people who speak for him.
Fair enough.
And so yeah, but ideally this is the mirror.
Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough. Before you take a brief breather, Honorable Pogisho has talked about the president's silence, and his silence is very, very loud. But you can tell from the representatives of the government in the National Assembly, led by one Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, on Baya, who is said to be the one who will table that particular motion. That is that the Deputy Majority Leader vocally supporting this particular impeachment motion is the president's lieutenants, including the likes of Ouster Sudi, have said this has to happen. But we take a brief breather, and then we'll be back to talk about these allegations against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and the whole issue surrounding as well Raila Odinga being in government, because Rigathi Gachagua, the DP, says this impeachment, or claims this impeachment, will also hurt Odinga's AUC bid. Is that the case? That will be after this short break. Don't go away.